Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a bit of a rant where I didn't have this planned today, but I've just had an experience that I wanted to basically talk about. Something that I personally haven't experienced in a while, so it surprised me when it did happen. So originally I was going to do a video about my top 10 gay icons, LGBT icons, and then I was also going to do top 10 music people that I like, regardless of what genre it is. So kind of like a two-part top 10 icons and then top 10 favourites. So I'm going to do that in tomorrow's video. But for today, like I say, I want to talk about my experience today. So it's going to be more of a rant, this. I've just got back from my public gym, which is at Brancott. And I've recently just had a tattoo done. I've had this done about a week ago, and it's kind of near the last part of the healing process, and you can't really sweat when you have tattoos because then the sweat makes the ink run out slightly. So I've had to not do anything at the gym. But it's been more than a week now, so I thought that I'll see how this looks for just a session in the spa. I love the spa. So I've been in there for a couple of hours. And, you know, I'm myself in the spa. I'm very friendly, chatty, will like talk to anyone that is quite similar. And I noticed that there was these two guys that were more vocal than all the others. They were like on their phones a lot. They were like, I think, sending stories on their social media apps, and you know, I've never seen anyone do that in a spa, so it was quite weird to see that being done. But you know, I'm there chilling in the jacuzzi, so I didn't really think much about it. And I would say that the stereotypical young guys, kind of guys, and that's what made them stand out, because everyone was there to chill, where they were actually, there was one point where they were doing push-ups in the spa, and I remember just kind of looking at them being like, this is the first time I've seen someone exercise in a spa. But again, you know, I didn't really think much about it, so then I just continued from like moving to the jacuzzi, to the sauna, to the steam room. And I got talking to basically some of the people that are in the whole virginity of the spa. And then I'm in a bit where I'm in a jacuzzi, and I talked to someone that I haven't spoke to yet. And then them two guys were next to us, so then we get talking a little bit. And they were bragging that on Valentine's Day they're kind of going out with their girls, you know, the ladies that they have. And, you know, I'm just like, oh, okay, have fun. You know, I'm not like overly fussed, but I'm not like ignoring them. And then the conversation then goes, oh, are you doing anything for Valentine's Day? And I was like, no, I've been single pretty much my whole life. And, you know, Valentine's Day doesn't really mean a lot to me. And then And then basically we get talking a bit more, and then the conversation then goes to, you know, is there any girls that you've got your eye on at the minute? And then I was like, no, that's not really my thing. Oh, and then they were like, oh, so you're gay? And then I was like, yeah, but I haven't been with anyone in a while. Like, and then I was explaining that I've never really been in, like, a proper relationship. And then one of the guys in particular was more intrigued and more interested than his friend. But this guy in particular, like, I don't know his name, but he was, like, asking me a lot of questions to do with, like, me being gay and kind of the gay community overall. And it was questions that, for the most part, wasn't a bad thing. Anyone that knows me, and one of the reasons why I created this channel is for people to ask questions. And, you know, I'll answer them. And I did that with him. And he was just like, you know, he asked me, like, when did I know I was gay? And then I was like, oh, probably about 5 or 6. And then he kind of, like, called me a liar and basically was like, yeah, but man, I don't believe that you can know at that age because you're a kid, you don't know what sex is. And then I was like, well, I know that, but, you know, everyone has had that first crush since they were a kid. There's loads of people that I've spoke to that's had crushes as a kid, whether it's through a celebrity or through someone in real life. And then I was explaining that, you know, I was just watching Riverdance one day and then I was very aware that I had a crush on the main dancer. And he was like, yeah, but how do you know that you had a crush on the main dancer? Maybe you just liked the way that his outfit looked, or maybe you just liked the fact that he danced good. And I was like, well, I didn't know what gay was at that age. No one really does. But, you know, as an adult, you can analyse and you can look back on your past memories and be like, oh, that's happened because of that reason, that happened because of that reason. And then I was just very like, you know, and then I brought up that I wanted to marry Zac Efron when I was 8. And he was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, no, man, to me that's just weird. Like, the fact that you felt like that as a kid. And then I responded by saying, so what, you didn't have a crush or you didn't want to marry someone as a kid? And they both were like, well, yeah, of course. And then he was saying that his first one, he was 7. And then his friend was like, oh, my mum's friend's sister. I was a kid when I had a crush on her. And then I was like, so you were a kid and you were 7. So, you know, we're around about similar ages of our first crush. So it's not like I'm anything special. And then he was like, yeah, but, like, I still just don't get it. And then he proceeded with saying, you know, I've never really spoke to anyone who is gay before, but I've had questions and I'm just very confused about gay people overall. And to me, that is nothing bad in particular, because some people just haven't had experience, and again, that's why I've created this channel. So I can be your weird gay friend who can, like, answer questions in comments or within video titles. But then, it then kind of changed to the point where it almost got offensive, where he basically said, oh, I have a son, you know, I'm married, I have kids, and I worry that my son is going to end up like you. And in my head, I kind of then realised what this conversation was about. The reason why he hadn't talked to anyone about it, talked to anyone who is gay, was because he's either homophobic or he believes in negative stereotypes, which is a form of homophobia. So regardless of what I told him was the truth, he just wouldn't accept it because he feels negatively about guys like me. And the fact that he said, I worry that my son is going to end up like you. And listen, because I am very chill and because I don't get over emotional within that moment, I kind of was like, well, you know, there are worse things. And then he kind of said nothing, and then we moved on. So that really annoyed me, kind of coming home from the gym, because I've never had that conversation since probably 3 or 4 years. And it's made me think that some people just don't think, I wouldn't say the right way, because I don't believe in a right way, but, you know, some people just think very negatively about people. And like I say, the fact that he was like, oh, I worry my son is going to be like you. Oh, one other thing that they tried to do, which again I found annoying, was that his friend and him was trying to say, basically, that I'm gay because I haven't tried enough with women. And he was like, yeah, but if you find a woman who has, like, certain characters of a guy, then you can still go with that woman, and then that means that you're not, you know, that way. And I was like, well, I don't like guys that are like women, who are like women when it comes to physicality. And then I brought up the fact that personally I'm into hairy men, so, you know, that is a character that is very typical male, and also that is a thing within gay culture. And then they were like, you know, don't like talk about that kind of thing. And then I was like, well, you asked me, so I'm being honest. So we spoke about some other stuff a little bit after that as well, but I don't really remember. So, but after then, we just kind of parted ways. I think they left the jacuzzi and then went somewhere else, doing more push